There are so many people that get paid to make NBA basketball decisions that quite honestly should not be employed to make basketball decisions. And every year since 2015, I have done the worst picks of the NBA draft. And every year I have been pretty much dead on. I think there might have been one player who surprised me. I don't even remember who it was. I think it might have been one. I'll just take you back to last year. My worst pick of the draft last year, Markelle Fultz. I also had the Detroit Pistons taking Luke Kennard over Donovan Mitchell as one of the worst picks in the draft. I also had the Orlando Magic taking Jonathan Isaac as one of the worst picks in the draft. So you can look at that video. You can tell me as a Philadelphia 76er fan, if you would rather have Markelle Fultz or Jason Tatum, Markelle Fultz or Donovan Mitchell, Markelle Fultz or Dennis Smith. Hell, even Markelle Fultz versus Lonzo Ball. And so with that, we're going to get into the worst picks of the 2018 NBA draft. Number 5 is every team that didn't take Michael Porter Jr. after about the 8th pick. Listen, I can understand not taking him 1, 2, 3. I get it. If the reports about his back are true, 2 herniated discs is nothing to play games about. Okay, that is serious. However, I don't care if you had to sit Michael Porter Jr. for 2 years. The talent level that that young man has, coupled with his age, he was without a doubt the first or second best player 6 months ago coming into college. We were talking about Michael Porter Jr. and we were talking about Marvin Bagley. For him to fall as far as he did because of an injury, I mean, again, it's all a crapshoot, man. This whole draft process, we have guys in the Hall of Fame that were drafted in the 2nd round. We have guys that should be in the Hall of Fame, Ben Wallace, that were undrafted, guys that dominated the league. So it's all a crap shot. So you're trying to tell me that the risk reward after the 8th pick, 9th pick, 10th pick is not there for you to take a Michael Porter Jr.? Are you kidding me? This guy is better than Ben Simmons. He can actually shoot the ball. Okay, Ben Simmons can't shoot. All right, so every team that didn't take him, if he comes back, if he's healthy, you're going to regret this. So I got to put every team that didn't take him number 5 after about the 8th pick. I'm talking to you, Knicks. I'm talking to you, Clippers, and a number of other teams. Speaking of the Clippers, number 4, the 4th worst pick of the NBA draft, Jerome Robinson being selected by the LA Clippers. Listen, I've seen Jerome Robinson play a little bit. I have not watched a ton of his game, to be fair. However, from the time that I watched him, I've been doing this long enough, I can tell you that, again, he's just another guy. There are guys in the G League better than Jerome Robinson. There are guys sitting on the end of benches that are better than Jerome Robinson. The NBA is a game of specialties. You draft guys and you build teams around guys who are special. You know, you have your shooters, you have your Kyle Korvers. You know, he's a specialist. Then you have your freak athletes like your Ben Wallaces, your defenders, your rebounders, Dennis Rodmans, and, you know, then you have your scorers. You know, then you have your playmakers. And sometimes you have a guy like LeBron James that can do all of those things, right? What does Jerome Robinson do special? The answer is nothing. For you to take him at 13 when you have Michael Porter Jr. there at 14, I respect the hell out of Jerry West. I have to say that Jerry West probably had nothing to do with this decision. It just doesn't seem like a Jerry West move to me. So Lawrence Frank or somebody else made this decision to take him that high when I didn't hear no other team even considering taking him in the top 20. It just doesn't make any sense, and I think they're going to pay for it dearly. Number 3, the 3rd worst pick of the 2018 NBA draft, and I actually have some insider knowledge on this guy because I'm from Georgia, and I've actually done edits for guys who played against him in high school, guys trying to get into college, so on and so forth. But again, Wendell Carter, he's not a bad player, but again, he's not a special player. He's a guy that comes off your bench, gives you minutes, rebounds, and things like that. I heard somebody mention they compare him to Al Horford. He's not Al Horford. He's not that kind of special, right? He's just a dude that you have on the floor that can give you minutes. And you take him 7th, it's just one of the biggest reaches that I've seen in recent drafts. Again, do I think Wendell Carter can help a team come off the bench, so on and so forth? Yeah, but Wendell Carter was not even as good as some of the bigs that came out last year. He's certainly not better than Bobby Portis. So I just don't understand the pick. The Bulls should have went in a different direction. But as a Piston fan, I can honestly care less about the Bulls. Good for us. Number 2. And these last two, first of all, they were so close in how bad they were. But I already know that, you know, I'm going to get a lot of hate for these 2 picks. But again, it's not personal. I don't do it to be personal or anything like that. It's just basketball. But to take Trae Young at number, where the Hawks took him, at number 5, is one of the worst decisions that I've seen. It's not as bad as taking Markelle Fultz, number 1 last year, but it's close. There's nothing special about Trae Young. Again, the NBA is about specialists. It's about athleticism. It's about size. It's about, you know, who can shoot, who, you know, special athletes, okay? Guys who got drafted in the 80s and 90s wouldn't even get drafted today. The league is so much more athletic. And I feel like if this was the 1980s, early 90s, then Trae Young could have been, you know, a decent guard in the league, and you know, you pick him up. But right now, with his frame, with his lack of explosion, there's nothing special about Trae Young. Forget the stats, okay? Everybody wants to look at, oh, he averaged 27 points a game. As you saw with Markelle Fultz, that means absolutely nothing. How does your skills translate to the NBA? Trae Young does not have special handles. He does not break people down. He is a horrible finisher, and he's an even worse defender. How can you put somebody at the top of your defense? He is literally the top of your defense, the first point of defense, and he is a horrible defender. You can't do that. You can do that. You're going to lose a bunch of games, but it's not smart for you to do that. Oh, well, Steph Curry's not a great defender either. He's not Steph Curry. Steph Curry will break you down. Steph Curry can finish. He's one of the best finishers in the league. It's not just about three-pointers, ladies and gentlemen. You can't just look at a guy and say he can shoot. Hell, I can shoot. Every time I go to the YMCA, I'm the best shooter there. But my fat ass cannot play in the NBA because I don't have the athleticism. I got asthma. I got a number of things. But if you want to base me just on shooting, I can shoot the blood out the ball. But I'm not an NBA player. So you got to do more than just shoot. And Trae Young is not that. And so, you know, the only reason this is number 2 pick is because, you know, they did actually get a future first-round pick. So, you know, that makes it the second worst pick. But Mo Bamba in a Hawks uniform would have potentially changed that franchise. And that's where they should have went. And unfortunately, it's going to cost them. But the worst pick of the draft. Here comes the hate. I know it's coming. Oh, he's been playing professionally since he's 13. He's the European Michael Jordan. He's the white Kobe Bryant. He's the white Larry Bird. He slept in Dirk Nowitzki's basement when he was 15. Every year, there's a European player that these analysts get together and just try to promote for whatever reason. It must be some type of secret organization that just wants to see European players shine in the NBA for whatever reason. And every year there's a guy. If it's not Mario Hezonja, Dragan Bender, Jan Vesely, year after year. And none of these guys ever turn out to be special. And I'm telling you, Luka Doncic is going to be in the same vein as those guys. Can he play in the NBA? Yes. Can he help a team? Yes, he can. He can come off the bench, be a role player, and something like that. But I have actually heard so-called analysts say that this guy is far and away the best player out of this draft. Far and away? Far and away. He's far and away better than Mo Bamba. He's far and away better than Marvin Bagley. He's far and away better than Miles Bridges. Are you kidding me? What are you watching? If this dude was black, he wouldn't even be drafted in the first round. But yet, because he's European, oh, he can shoot. Did you know he only shot 33% from the three-point range? There were at least 40 guys in the NCAA that shot better than that. He doesn't have special athleticism. He doesn't have special handles. And everybody is making these judgment calls based off of highlights. If you have not sat courtside or at least watched a whole VCR tape of Luka Doncic playing a whole game, then you cannot talk. Now, have I watched a full whole game of Luka Doncic? No, I have not. Full disclosure. But I have watched other European players last year, in the past, full games, so on and so forth. And I've been doing this long enough where I can see special. And he's not special. He's just another guy. He's a jag. He can help a team. He can, come off the bench. He'll hit a couple of threes. The crowd will love him, whatever. But he's not going to change your franchise. And for the Dallas Mavericks, who were in a great position to pair Dennis Smith with Mo Bamba, who just might be the best player out of this draft that we're talking about years later. 8-foot wingspan, shooting threes, blocking everything in the lane. What are you talking about? That could have been a scary dynamic duo. That could have been a potential Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal combo in Dallas that could have put fear into the Western Conference. Instead, you got just another guy who's not going to compliment anybody on the team. He's not going to start. He's never going to make an all-star team. He's 19. He moves like he's 35. He's just a dude. But he's going to collect a check just like Mario Hezonja, just like Dragan Bender, just like Jan Vesely, just like the dozens and dozens of previous European players, not named Dirk Nowitzki, not named Pau Gasol, that did not turn out to be what people expected them to be. And I'm just tired of, can we just get to the point where we can just judge players for who they are, not what they look like, not if they're light skinned, not if they white, not if they dark skinned. Can we just look at the NBA player, please, and throw all that stuff out the window? Because the bottom line is, if Luka Doncic's name was Mike Brown and he was an unathletic black guy doing the things that he's doing, he would be drafted at the end of the first round or the second round. Draymond Green was the 35th pick. Zach Randolph, unathletic behind, was I think the 43rd or 44th pick. Hell, even Marc Gasol was the second round pick, okay? I know what I'm talking about. He's not special. No way you give up a future first round pick for this guy. This was a horrible, horrible decision by the Dallas Mavericks, and it could hurt their franchise for years to come.